wrong. Tell me, mama, when did things go wrong? Well, I'm hurting now, but I won't be hurt long. You made me leave you, and now you want my love. You made me leave you.
Hey there, how's it going? This is Ukiah. Ukiah is the county seat of Mendocino County. County seat is kind of like the capital of the county. Mendocino County here is in Northern California, about 2.5 hours drive north of San Francisco. Sonoma County and Napa County to the south. Famous wine country there in Napa County. Humboldt County to the north. Famous for redwoods, green stuff, beautiful coast. Speaking of coast, that is where I'm going soon. So this here is a mural, very well done, which depicts the history of the area. Here you can see some hippies, the love generation, back to the land, Mendocino County or bust, flower power. That is exactly what my parents did in the 1970s. Moved from Los Angeles, came up here to Willits, the town north of here, about 20 minutes, which is where I was raised and where I plan to drive through today. And then down there, as I was showing, the Wild West past, the Native American and also the pioneers, etc., arriving in this area back in the 19th century. And there is somebody on this mural that you might recognize. Not exactly sure what all this is, but of course here, the Hispanic culture that was here in California. Of course, the reason why there is San Diego, Los Angeles, San Jose, San Francisco, Santa Rosa, etc., part of the Spanish and Hispanic heritage. And here, that's me. And my younger brother, Christo. Somehow my mom knew the artist who painted this, and she was looking for specific people to include in the mural as part of the history, and as I said, part of the hippie back to the land movement in the 1970s, people leaving the city and heading for the mountains and the hills and the forests to establish themselves. And so my parents and myself and brother came here to Mendocino County in around 76, 77 and moved onto the land about 5 miles outside of the town of Willits there. So pretty awesome job that she did here. All right, so here's my car, Honda CR-V 2000, and the plan is to get out of here and go see more of Mendocino County. So let's drive through, show a little bit of the town of Ukiah here, and then get out of town and go see more. It is a pretty area tucked away here, kind of little known, not especially touristy, but a very pretty and peaceful spot. Let's do it. Mendo County. There you can see a bucking horse, pioneer settlers, Native Americans. And then going further back, then the animals, prehistory. So it's a chronological account of the history of the area. And then here is School Street, which is kind of the main shopping street, the classic American small town center, which is the older part now. And then here is a new park. On the other side is Main Street, except that it's actually State Street is the main street, and one block further down, other side, is actual Main Street. Okay, let's see how the construction is, because there was a lot of construction going on, but looks like things are flowing better now. Just show a little bit of State Street. And so this is the town that we would come down to from Willits because it's the larger town, to go shopping at certain places and to go to the movie theater, which is up ahead. You can see it's the old sign, the same sign that was here back when I was a kid in the 70s and 80s. So our movie theater in Willits only had one actual theater, whereas here they have multiple, I forget, 4 or 5 or 6 or something, and so they would have better selection. I remember seeing so many movies here. Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. The Gods Must Be Crazy. I remember watching that, and my brother and I were just like literally on the floor. We were laughing so hard. And then maybe Popeye, and speaking of which, I visited the Popeye village in Malta this last year. Here you got the Safeway, the Ukiah Natural Foods Co-op, Wells Fargo, my bank up ahead, Chase Bank. Okay, this is a good point at which to stop filming, pay attention, get out of town, and then start making the drive over to the coast, about an hour and a half. A&W. Just say no to crappy root beer. Get the good stuff instead. Virgil's. Oh yeah, cane sugar. Just filled up the gas tank. $4.50 a gallon. It was a lot cheaper in Oregon. Like $1.50 cheaper. Alright, this is the south edge of town, continuing down here and then turning off of the main 101 highway, which goes south down to Santa Rosa and then Petaluma, Novato, San Rafael, and eventually San Francisco. Not taking that route, going Highway 128 over Boonville and then to Mendocino, the little town on the coast. Gonna see the Pacific Ocean. The weather can be different over there than here. We shall see. It's more often like foggy and cloudy and stuff, but brilliant sunny day, so maybe we'll get some sunshine over there as well. So there you can see 101 to Santa Rosa and 253 west to Boonville. And then the 253 connects to the 128. There you can see some vineyards. This is also wine country. And I think most of you know already, but I will mention for those who don't that the reason that I'm here in Ukiah is my mom and stepdad live here. I've been staying with them for the last couple of weeks, visiting, hanging out, and trying to decide where I'm going to travel to next. Still no idea yet. But man, what a brilliant day. Look at that classic old barn, part of the old Wild West pioneer days. There you can see Boonville 16, 128, 16 miles, and Highway 1 in 46 miles. That is the Pacific Coast Highway. That kind of more refers to it further south, but it is the same Highway 1. And we're now going down the mountains / hills into the Andersson Valley, where Boonville is. And the Andersson Valley Brewery, they make some good beers. Boont Amber Ale. And where they had their own language, sort of. Back, like I guess in the pioneer days or something, they kind of developed their own, I don't know if it would be considered a dialect of English or something, but they had kind of their own words or whatever. A remote community, especially back, long ago when it was even more remote out here. Andersson Valley Brewing Company, 420 feet ahead. Did you see what they did there? They could have said 400 feet, 450. They went with 420. Not a coincidence, I'm sure. I'm not going to stop, but there it is, tap room, Andersson Valley. Speaking of beer, my beer, falling over, root beer, Cerveceria. And I highly recommend this one, the Virgil's. It is delicious. I got it at that co-op that I showed in Ukiah. So you can find it at health food stores and various other places. Okay, so that sign says California 128, turning right here, end of 253 highway. Cloverdale, 27 miles to the left. It is on the 101 route, so that would get you back on track going to San Francisco. But heading west, Boonville, population 1,044, elevation 400, that is 400 feet. So, like 100 and something meters. And about 30 miles over to the coast. So here is the town of Boonville. It is very small. Andersson Valley Market. 1931. So that gives you a idea of when people were settling here. Although I'm sure that it was long before 1931 that the white folks arrived here. Nice looking mural there. Okay, stop for the school bus. And that was it. Boonville. Next stop, the Redwoods. They're right along the road here. And this is Philo, an even smaller town. Definitely has that Wild West feel. Lots of breweries and wineries around here. Navarro Vineyards and Winery. Greenwood Ridge Vineyards. Hard to believe it is February 27th. It is warm. Grego Cellars. And it looks like it's probably going to be sunny over on the coast as well, so that's great. Valley Foothills Vineyard. Navarro, population 142. Navarro store. And I believe these are Redwoods. So I'm probably not going to stop. Yeah, definitely Redwoods. I'll just show them from the road. I have done various hikes through the Redwoods before. There are different places where there are redwood groves throughout Northern California. More famously at Redwood National Park, which is north of Eureka and Arcata, so several hours driving north of here. But as you can see, reddish colored bark. So I just saw a sign that said Navarro River Redwoods State Park. So I guess we're driving through it. But the coast is very close now. Looking forward to seeing the Pacific Ocean. And I just saw it, the Pacific. Right up ahead here. There you go. Coastal access. Well, maybe we should go for it. Looks like a short little walk. No beach access, it says, but we should get a nice view. Navarro Point. Everything is Navarro around here. And so you have this trail. We are here, so you could do a loop like that, but I'm just going to do this short little walk there. The weather is definitely different here. It is very, very windy. Watch for whales. Gray whale, blue whale, humpback, Rizzo's dolphin, orca, harbor seal, California sea lion. I don't recall when whale watching season is. It depends on when they're going north or south. So, I got a new camera. I am currently filming with the DJI Osmo Action 1. They came out with the Action 2, which I didn't get because they totally changed it and I didn't like the looks of the camera that they kind of tried to improve or whatever with the 2. And then with the 3, they went back to the same design, but with improvements, I guess. I never got around to getting that. And then they came out with a 4. So I am filming now on the 1, which is a very outdated camera at this point. So yesterday, then I went down to Santa Rosa, bought the DJI Osmo Action 4. But I am not filming with it because they don't sell the wind slayers, which is the device, a piece of styrofoam basically, which you put around the camera and then it blocks out the wind noise. I have that on this camera, and so hopefully you can hear me. And so I wasn't able to get one of those wind protector devices at the store yesterday, and so that is why I'm not filming with it now, is the point that I'm getting to here, because as you can see, it is super windy, and if I was filming with that other camera, it would all be totally scratched out. I ordered online one of those wind slayer things, which should arrive in the next day or 2. So I will be switching over to the new camera in coming videos, looking forward to seeing how it does, if it is actually a noticeable improvement with the Action 1, which has been an absolutely incredible camera, and I will definitely hold on to it either way as a backup camera. All right, there you go. You can see why no beach access, because there's no beach. And it would be hard to get down there. That is some wild coastline. This is classic California. All right, let's get out of here and get up the coast to Mendocino. Mendocino Headland State Park, Big River Beach. You drive down there and park and then go under the road here, and that beach right there is very nice. And out there you can see the town, the church. Mendocino Headland State Park to the left, that is where we're going to turn and get onto Main Street. Here we are in Mendocino, the town. In Mendocino, the county. So this is downtown Mendocino. As you can see, the classic old style buildings, various shops, markets, restaurants. There's a health food store right down there. Speaking of which, let's check it out and see about getting another good root beer if they have one. Lots of stuff going on. Community concert series, first Thursdays. Various, I guess, local bands and probably from elsewhere. Kennedy 2024. Yoga. Healing Power, Lucia Light and Sound Journey, Transformational Tai Chi Meditation, and here is the health food store in this old building that looks kind of like a church. Wonder if it was. Natural Foods. And boom, mission accomplished. Boiling root beer, cane sugar. That's what I want to see. None of this corn syrup, aspartame, stevia, dextrose, yada yada. Got 3 of them. Going to stop by the car and drop them off to lighten the load, and then get out to the headlands. You'll see what that means soon. And let's walk on down the old street, as you can see, with the classic buildings. Mendocino Hotel, established 1878. There you go. Some serious history. Hi there. So when I was a kid, then we would come here as a family, walk around, get lunch, go walk on the headlands, go to the beach, and go to the Mendocino Hotel there. And maybe my parents would get a beer or whatever, and we would get, what do you call them? Roy Rogers or whatever, 7-Up with grenadine sauce and a cherry in it. And there's a photo that my mom or dad took of me and my brother drinking the drinks, and I'm going like this, but I'm not giving the peace sign. I'm saying we're having 2, like we're having a second one. It was like, you know, kind of a special thing, like we're getting 2 of these sweet drinks. Chocolate House. Oh man, it smells so good coming out of there. And it is less windy here. I'm actually overheating with this jacket on, so time to take this off. In life, as he did in movies, Aggie lit the way. May his light continue to shine from above. Richard Aggie Aguilar, 1931 to 2022. I guess a movie actor. So, end of the road, sort of. And then here the walk out onto the headlands begins. So, I will mention another memory from being here with my friend Abram. So, first, I have to mention my hitchhiking experience. As I wrote about in my book, Following My Thumb, A Decade of Unabashed Wanderlust, there is a link in the description to my various books. It is a collection of travel stories of mine, and in the beginning, then I tell my story of becoming a hitchhiker, which began when I was very, very young, around like 8 years old or so, and I started hitchhiking up our road to get home. So the school bus took us several miles up the road and then dropped us off at the bottom of the dirt road out where our house was. But it was a 1.5 mile walk up that dirt road to get to our driveway, and then a long driveway down to our house out there in the woods outside of Willits, which I will be driving to next, an hour's drive east back into the interior from here. And so sometimes we would get a ride from my mom or dad if it happened to work out, but oftentimes it didn't work out. They were busy working or whatever, and so I would have to walk the whole way home. And that is a long walk when you are a little kid with short legs. And so at some point I decided, okay, I'm just going to stay in one place and wait for neighbors' cars to come along and catch a ride. That would happen sometimes. I'd be walking along and a neighbor would come along and I'd get a ride. But I figured, why even start the walk if they're, driving the whole thing? And so I started hitchhiking very young. Later in high school, then I started hitchhiking from the town all the way up so that I could stay longer in town, not take the bus, and then hitchhike home all the way from there. It was about like 5 miles or so. And so I forget exactly when this was, but Abram and I hitchhiked from Willits over to here. And I believe that that was the very first hitchhiking adventure that I did, other than we did this one hitchhiking day. We might have cut classes or something. I remember being in high school, and I think that we were just like, you know what, let's just take the day off. And we hitchhiked straight north up 101 to Gabriel, like an hour's drive or so north, and then just came back. And so I forget which one of those day trips was first, but one of them was my first time hitchhiking out of town. And so we came over here, and here is a photo of Abram and I. I'm not sure if this is actually of that day trip, and I don't recall when we did that day trip. I think that it might have been in the fall of 1989 when I was living with my mom in Ukiah, and then I went over to Willits and met up with Abram, and then we came over here. Actually, it wasn't a day trip. It was an overnight. And so we got over here, we had sleeping bags, we slept on the beach there, we tried to make a sweat lodge because it was kind of cold, which was a total fail because we didn't have at all the right stuff. We just like made a driftwood little structure and then built a fire and then put some rocks in it and heated up the rocks, but then we didn't have like a tarp or anything, which you really need, and so it was all, gapped between the logs, air flowing through, and so it totally did not work at all, but it was just a fun little, thing to do. And then what actually sparked this memory is that we were walking through the town right at the intersection where I started filming in the town there, the main intersection. And so right around there, we were walking along and we ran into somebody who I would not have recognized at all, but Abram did. It was Wavy Gravy. Now, very few of you will actually know who he was, but actually, almost all of you do know who he was if you've heard of Woodstock, the original 1969 Woodstock Festival. Wavy Gravy was the host, what do you call it? Like the announcer for the bands. Like Jimi Hendrix is next. And whoever else, I forget exactly who else played there. But Wavy Gravy was the announcer for Woodstock, and he started up a Camp Winter Rainbow, up north of Willits in Laytonville, outside of Laytonville there, and Abram attended that camp, like during the summers. But it's an art camp, you know, various arts, and so he was there doing whatever he was doing. I've never been there, never visited there, but Wavy Gravy had started that camp, and so Abram knew him from going to the camp. So he stopped and talked with Wavy Gravy for a bit. There you go, a nice view of the town. A big hole here, which Abram jumped into. I've even seen the video of him doing it. He had it on his Facebook page, and for those wondering about my friend Abram, then I posted a video a while ago, a year and a half ago I think, talking about basically he was missing, and there was some great news about that, which I posted in a community post on my YouTube channel, but many of you probably did not see that, in which, because of the video that I posted, somebody contacted me confirming his existence. Basically that he's still alive, and he's just doing his own thing. And that's all that I'm going to say on that, but it was very reassuring to get some confirmation of what he was up to, and that he was still alive and kicking. So all of this stuff is like just exactly the same as when I was a kid, you know, going back 40 years ago when we would come out here. The same totem things, the same, must be some kind of remains from logging operations or something. And so these are the headlands. And so really the best thing to do for the day, especially more in the summer when it's warmer, of course, is head down to that beach and just hang out there for the day, have a picnic, have some drinks, take a swim. The water is not warm even in the middle of summer, but if it's hot enough out, then it's a great way to spend a day, especially if you are lucky enough to have a brilliant sunny day, which does not happen all the time, that's for sure. Okay, well, that is going to do it. I'm just going to keep on cruising. There are various things you can do here. The shops and whatever events might be happening. Lots of hiking. You can go up to Fort Bragg, the larger town up the coast. More hiking, beaches, etc. But I have done all this many times before. I just wanted to show it in the video. Get out of Ukiah finally and go for a drive. And so I'm just going to drive over to Willits next and show my hometown. And so once you jump in there, it is a tunnel. And so you can get out one way or another. It goes through that way and then out that way. But I don't advise doing it unless you're a crazy person and a good swimmer. the stairs down to the beach, and you can see the tunnel. Right there. And this is where you turn right onto California Highway 20, Fort Bragg city limit, population 6,963. Fort Bragg is straight up ahead. And so it is another windy drive over the mountains, through the trees, an hour or so from here. And speaking of that hitchhiking trip, I think that Abram and I were standing right here, right somewhere along here, and some guy went past us and then turned around, came back. There you can see 33 miles to Willits. And so the guy pulls up to us and we think that we're getting a ride. And then he like rolls down his window or something and he looks all angry and he says, "Did one of you guys flip me off?" And we hadn't. We just had our thumbs out. He obviously thought it didn't look like a thumb. And we had to like convince him like, "No, we didn't flip you off." And he was like very doubtful and thought we were just trying to cover for ourselves or whatever. Finally he left. And eventually we got back to Willits. So 33 miles, but it's going to get very windy, and so it gets slow going up ahead. And here we are coming into Willits, city limits, population 4,888. It has not changed much since I was a kid here. So my original thought was to explore around the town more and like talk about a few old stories or whatever from my childhood, and then drive out the Sherwood Road that I mentioned I would hitchhike out to get home. But this video has gotten pretty long, and so I think that I will hold off, and if I get the chance, then drive back up here and make another video giving a proper tour of the town and having more time to cruise around and check things out and revisit the old days and all that kind of stuff. So the town is more to the left. So this is Highway 101 essentially. This intersection is where the main road is going through town, which used to be the route that you had to take driving north on 101, but they created a bypass road for the highway now, which goes all the way around the town. So I'll just head on down this way a few minutes to get to the main highway, the Arch, Willits, heart of Mendocino County, and on the other side, gateway to the Redwoods. So that is going to do it for today. A little drive down memory lane here in Mendocino County, Northern California. Seeing the Redwoods, the wineries, the breweries, the Pacific Ocean, the little towns. It is a unique, beautiful, peaceful place with a lot of history. So that is going to do it for now. More coming from California.